Hi, everyone. It's Shap. Welcome to Small Nuggets, Big Change. Thank you so much for checking out our podcast with myself, Cutting the Crap with Shap, and Seeing to Lead with Dr. Jones. He is an amazing author, leader, podcaster, and somebody that I have an amazing amount of respect for. As you're checking out this episode, which is called The Beach House from Hell, please consider subscribing to our channels. Again, mine is Cutting the Crap with Shap. His is Seeing to Lead. We'd love your support. Also, throw a comment in, throw a like, throw a suggestion that you have to help us improve on what we're doing because we always want to hear feedback from you. Hopefully positive, but even if it's not, that's how the channel grows. So, again, for today's episode, it's called The Beach House from Hell. So, over the summertime, my family went down to the Outer Banks, OBX. We go there almost every year. We've been there for about the last 7 or 8 years, and we love it there. So we booked the house kind of late. I had seen the house online. My wife booked it, and I was like, I don't know. I'm not sure about this. So we got there, and the house was just not that great. I don't have the time to go into all the details, but it really needed a lot of little details to make it more comfortable. The beds were not great. The kitchen, I mean, just really in need of some tender, loving care. And I wasn't happy necessarily with the house itself. But one of the things that we always talk about in Small Nuggets, Big Change is perspective. So, yes, the house wasn't great, but we did have a place to stay. We were away at the beach. I was with my family, which was amazing, and the weather was beautiful. So it's all about kind of seeing things from a different light. Yes, it would have been great if the house was in better shape and if it would have been a little bit nicer, but that still didn't take away from the experience that my family had. And that is kind of my message that I want to leave with everybody today is while things could have been better, things were still really good. And sometimes we tend to focus on the negative things, like the beach house from hell, but ignore the fact that I was with my family, the weather was beautiful, and we did still have a place to stay that was safe, and it did have some positive things. So we always want to try to find that little bit of a bright spot when other things might be kind of difficult. So I can't wait to hear what Dr. Jones has to say. Again, we so appreciate your support. Please subscribe to our channels, and I will be back with a wrap up after Dr. Jones goes. Thanks again for all you do. You are awesome.
Hey everyone, Doc Jones here with another answer to another prompt given to me by Craig Shapiro, author, educator, podcaster. Make sure you check out his channel at Cutting the Crap with Shap. There's some really good stuff there that has to do with your personal health, education, etc. And while you're doing that, do me a favor, give mine a look. It's Seeing to Lead. So the prompt, the beach house from hell. Wait a minute. When he told me this, I was waiting for some B horror movie reel to start playing in the background with the music and everything. But I'm thinking it's not about that. So this is the way I take the beach house from hell. You know, oftentimes when we go do something, we tend to be looking towards the negative. It almost seems to be human nature, whatever we want to call human nature. But when we're doing things, we tend to pull out the negative things and ignore the positive ones. So say I'm staying at a beach house. And now I've stayed at a couple beach houses for vacations, and there's always something that goes wrong. If you're staying with family and friends, there's always something that comes up that's maybe annoying. But when you think about maybe the stove didn't work right, maybe there was a board loose on the deck, maybe one of the lights in the rooms didn't work, maybe you don't have good reception, maybe. There's always something you can pick out. But what you don't pick out is, wait a minute, we're at a beach house on the beach. How bad can things be? You know, when you think about some of the negative things we pick out and completely forget the positive things, we get so overwhelmed with these bad thoughts that we forget life isn't really that bad. Actually, if we think about all the things we have to be grateful for, life is really good. So what I want you to do to crowd out those negative things, what I want you to do to focus on the positives, I got a little bit of a challenge for you. Every morning or evening, if that's an option, write down 3 things you're grateful for. Now, I tell you that because I tried it. And at first, man, I could whip off things that I was grateful for, and it would just crowd out the negative. When I did it at night, after having a bad day, I could say, but I've got my 2 boys that I'm really in love with and proud of. I've got my wonderful wife who's a fantastic mother and keeps me in line. And I could rip those things off pretty easy. But then as the days went by, and this is where consistency is important, it became harder. And I had to look for things that I was actually grateful for. Lights on in my house, a full refrigerator, not worrying where my next meal was coming from, multiple clothes that I could wear each day. Those things started to pop up. And what that did was it put my mindset into living with a positive viewpoint, a grateful viewpoint. So that if I was at that beach house, I can only imagine with everything going wrong, I'm still at a beach house on the beach. So look, instead of saying this is awful, think about what's good and focus on that, and you will notice that instantly all your experiences become more positive because the negative shrinks until you push it from your mind. Look, I really, really thank you for listening to these small nuggets for big change. I hope you're getting a lot out of it. And remember, take the time, subscribe, leave us some comments. We love reading your comments, and offer us some prompts. And we'll talk about some of those things that you're wondering about yourself. Remember, you have a great day because you're awesome.
Hi, everybody. It's Shap. I am back with a wrap up of the Beach House from Hell. Before I give you my thoughts, I want to mention something that I think is really critical. So, Dr. Jones, Chris is my partner in this. We do it together. And whenever we give each other a prompt, we never talk about what the prompt is going to be, and we never talk about what we're going to say. So when you watch the beginning of this, Chris has never seen that. He'll see the whole thing when it's done, and vice versa. If he gives me a prompt, then I don't see what he does. If you listen to his response, it speaks volumes of the way that we think about things. So if I want to ask you a question, if somebody said to you, I was at this beach house from hell, what would you think? Would you think, oh my God, I'm so sorry your vacation was so bad. It's such a shame. Oh, I can't believe the house was like that. Because that's what a lot of people would think. But if you listen to what Chris said, he spun it in a completely different way, which honestly doesn't surprise me. So he talked about being grateful, which is something that I talked about. He said that yes, the board might be missing and that this might not be perfect and the game doesn't work, but I'm still at the beach in a house. And that is exactly the message I'm so glad that he shared, because that is how I felt. Yes, the house we stayed in was not nice. There were things that definitely could have been better. But at the end of the day, we still were at a house at the beach. The weather was beautiful, as I mentioned, and we still had a place to stay. Sure, it'd be so easy to complain about all the stuff that was wrong with the house, but to what end? The house is still the house. We're still there, and there's nothing we can do about it. Yes, it's true that next time we just won't stay at that house. We'll find another house. But we still had a great time. And what Chris said that really resonated with me, he talked about being grateful, finding 3 things each day that he's grateful for. And he talked about his sons, his family, his wife, his clothes. And then he said it became a little bit more difficult. And I can tell you that I often do the same things. I'm always thinking about things that I'm grateful for because I have a lot to be grateful for. Doesn't mean things are perfect. It doesn't mean things don't go wrong, but there are so many positive things in life. So my closing message to everybody is to try to find those things in your life that you are grateful for. If something does go wrong, yes, accept that something went wrong, but then try to find some kind of something better to think about so you don't dwell on it. Okay. So that is my wrap up for the Beach House from Hell. Again, Chris and I want to thank you for checking out Small Nuggets, Big Change. If you get a chance, please subscribe to our podcast. Mine is Cutting the Crap with Shap. Chris's is Seeing to Lead. And also leave us a comment, a suggestion, something you'd love us to talk about, because that will make it even better. So again, we appreciate all your support. It means so much to us, much to us. Thank you again for all you do, and you are awesome.